Hi, welcome to Lesson 3 on our series in What is America. Our objectives for this lesson is to compare and contrast the concept of democracy and a republic and explain the basics of the American system of government. We're going to be going into this in a lot more depth throughout our civics unit, but just the general basics. And also, in that end, I'd like you to be able to briefly outline the small key differences between the three branches of government in the United States. Well, think of that question of what is America? In many ways, what I would say is America is defined by three words: we the people. The people of America make up the heart of who we are, especially when it comes to our government, our system of government, our way of running our society. We, the people, are the boss. That's because we, the people, set up a democratic society. The people have the power to control their own government. Now, a democracy is a big type, a big idea. There's many different types of democracies out there. You have a true democracy where the people vote on every law and every measure. You can have a constitutional monarchy like England. Our form of a democracy is a republic. So first, let's think of those two words: democracy. The people rule comes from the Greeks. Republic comes from the Romans. We can break that into two words: represent, and public. We elect people to represent the public, the people. We choose people, representatives, to stay in our place, to make our laws and run a government. Essentially, when we elect a governor, a congressman, a president, we're electing them to be like an agent for a movie star or a lawyer for somebody who's on trial. We're electing people, we're hiring people for the job of representing us. And that's the beautiful thing. We ultimately are the boss. We are the ones that are in control of our government. If we elect candidate A because we think they're going to do a good job, and then we don't like the job that they're doing, well, if enough of us, enough of the boss, enough of we the people think that the person should be fired, we can fire them. We have the power to fire a mayor, a member of Congress, governor, even the president. Now, think of other forms of government. You can't fire a king. You can't fire an all-powerful emperor or theocrat whose power to rule comes from the heavens. But we have that power. If we don't like the job that they're doing, we can tell them that they're fired. This setup of government where we the people are ultimately in charge and we have people that we hire to create our laws is set up in the U.S. Constitution. We'll explore this concept a lot more, but if I was going to give you one word to think of what the Constitution is, it's a blueprint. It's a blueprint for how we're going to run the U.S. government. Within those ideas, there's a very key concept that I'd like you to know. And in fact, you should probably take extra notes on this because it's going to come up a lot. And that is the idea of the separation of powers. We have three separate branches of government. Three branches that are designed to be equal to one another and have the power to limit or check the power of the other two. We have three branches. One that is in charge of making laws, setting the rules. That's the legislative branch. Another term to describe the legislative branch is the U.S. Congress. Then, we don't want the same people who make the rules to enforce the rules or to carry them out, to be the police of those laws. To enforce the laws, we have the executive branch. They enforce or carry out the law. If we want to simplify the executive branch, it would be the President of the United States and their administration, the POTUS. Lastly, because laws are written with some ambiguity because people can read one law and interpret it in different ways. Because we have dispute about what laws mean and what our rights are within the law, we need someone to act as the referee. That's the judicial branch. They settle disputes about the law. They interpret the law. And if we want to simplify that, it'd be the U.S. Supreme Court, as I like to call them, the SCOTUS. If you look, you can see this beautiful illustration that sets forth our separation of powers. On your left, you have the legislative with the U.S. Capitol, which is where the Congress meets. In the center is the executive with the White House, run by the president. Heck, it's where they live. And last but not least, the U.S. Supreme Court and the 9 justices who make up the judicial branch. So, to wrap up this lesson, what I'd like you to do is just tell me the difference between a democracy, the big concept, and the type of republic. Write them in your own words. How's a democracy different from a republic? Second part of the question is just very briefly outline for me what the 3 branches of the U.S. government are and their main job. And lastly, who is ultimately in charge in a democratic society? Write those 3 things down, and you'll be all finished with this lesson and ready to move on for lesson 4. Thanks for watching, and keep on learning.